That first piece that I played was a transcription of Monty Alexander's version of St. Thomas. That's a composition by saxophonist Sonny Rollins. It's a calypso rhythm, so it's not quite a bossa. Some people get it confused, but it was a lot of fun to learn. I transcribed that all by ear, so I would sit down and listen to the record over and over and over and over and over and over again until I finally learned it. So that was that. Now I want to welcome a special guest to the stage, Lyle Mendoza. We're going to play and sing a ballad titled What's New. It's by composer Bob Haggart, and the lyrics are by Johnny Burke. And I hope you guys enjoy this. This ballad's about two old flames kind of reuniting and having this conversation, and it's nostalgic. I hope you guys enjoy.
What's new? How is the world treating you? You haven't changed a bit. Handsome as ever, I must admit. What's new? How did that romance come through? We haven't met since then. Gee, but it's nice to see you again. What's new? Probably I'm boring you, but seeing you is grand, and you are sweet to offer your hand. Pardon me asking what's new. Of course, you couldn't know. I haven't changed. I still love you so.
The next tune is an original of mine. It's titled Pajaro, Verde. And there's kind of a long story of how I got to that title. I don't know how much time we have. I guess we have some time. I took some composition lessons over the summer with Mike Rocha, and he challenged me to take a look at some of the most prolific jazz composers and try to figure out what made that tune or what makes their sound so unique. And I decided to go for Chick Corea's Windows and try to emulate that sort of freeness and things. And I decided to ask my sister for some input on why, or what she thinks resembles freedom, because Chick Corea named it Windows because when he composed the tune, it felt very free. It's like looking out to the open outside of a window. And my sister said, oh, I think that birds resemble freedom for me. So I was like, okay, I think I saw something green. And I was like, okay, green bird, boom, that's the title. And then my teacher, Joe Gilman, was like, I think you should title it Pajaro Verde because Chick Corea has all these Spanish harmonies that he plays around with, and that's what I have in my tune as well. So that's how that came to be, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to welcome two people up to the stage, Andrew Mendoza on bass and Steven Phan on drums. Work with, super encouraging, and I'm very happy to share the stage with them tonight. Hope you guys enjoy. on to another original of mine. This one is a blues, and it was also written around that same time during the summer. But this time I was trying to emulate Charlie Parker's sound, which is a hard thing to do, but I used the basis of using his tune Cheryl. I used the changes of that and kind of did a, I guess, contrafact of it, did my own spin on those chords. This is going to feature Theo Schulz on tenor saxophone. Theo and I play in a band together outside of school. Theo's already graduated, but we met in combo here and we still work together. We have a lot of fun doing Latin rock, Nacho on the Dollar Menu. All right, hope you guys enjoy this one. All right, that was fun, right? Yeah. I was enjoying myself. I kind of forgot I was at my own recital, so that's a good thing. I've been carrying up these note cards and then putting them behind my back, so I don't know why I wrote all this stuff out, but I do want to say something about this next piece. First, I want to welcome Thomas to the stage. Thomas Molina. There's something that I talk about a lot in regards to mentorship. I am a double major, so I'm also studying classical music with Richard Chonko, and I'm studying jazz piano with Joe Gilman, and composition with Greg Johnson. And then outside of school, I do some of these jazz gigs, and a lot of them are given to me by Thomas Molina. And he's been a great mentor. I always learn something from him in regards to just all the jazz, all the stuff that's out there, and how to hang and how to be out in the scene, and the do's and don'ts. So it's been very helpful for someone my age that's still figuring this stuff out, to have someone like Thomas Molina. So this next tune is Cut a Clearing in the Wilderness / Isorhythm number 37. And this is a composition that's written by a Swiss composer that I connected with. He has this cool way of writing jazz music, and that's isorhythmic. So multiple lines interweaving rhythmically, and they don't really sound like they should match up, but somehow they do. And so this was a kind of a difficult one to kind of get together and piece together, but we did it, and I'm excited to show you guys. This is Cut a Clearing in the Wilderness / Isorhythm number 37. poetry is a bit of a wild one. It's kind of hard to follow along. That's why I asked him, the composer, that I just had to take a look at the music because I was like, what is going on? My ears can't map out, or, yeah, it's just hard to picture. But I want to welcome the string players to the stage. Blue and Green, composition by Miles Davis and Bill Evans. No one really knows, you can't credit just one, you gotta give credit to both of them for that process, that creative process of Blue and Green. It's one of my favorite tunes on off of the Kind of Blue record. It's a very iconic album. You should check it out if you haven't. This is also a special arrangement by Mr. Richard Willliams, who's here tonight. I asked him to write this arrangement, and the next day he had it done. He was very happy to take that challenge on. I am looking forward to playing this for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you. it's an original of mine that I originally just wrote for solo piano, and then, well, I was in Europe, okay? And I played this for my teacher at this music festival that we had, and then 5 minutes later I went out the door and I met up with a jazz violist from Nebraska in Bosnia. It was kind of funny, meeting two jazz people who love jazz in a place we wouldn't think we would find like that sort of two improvisers just chilling at the music festival of Bosnia. This this composition came to be after Greg Johnson kind of pushed me to write it for big band. So this is my first original big band chart, and it means a lot to me. The title is inspired by a painting called The Actress in Her Dressing Room by a French artist. His name is Edvard Degas, and it kind of captures this moment of the actress before she goes on stage, so you can tell she's going through all the motions of preparation, and that kind of, I played it to my life and how I'm here. It took a lot of work. There's a lot behind the scenes that people don't see. Music is not easy. Music is very fulfilling, but it takes a lot of work. And I'm happy to be here to present this to you guys, my first original big band chart. Hope you guys enjoy. we've been switching over each piece. But this is going to feature the Latin ensemble, not Latin ensemble, people from the Latin ensemble, because I'm part of the Latin ensemble, and I wanted some of that in this arrangement that I did of Bésame Mucho. This is a special song to me. All of the tunes on this recital have been special, but this one will actually feature me on voice. I'm going to sing. This is a piece that Consuelo Velazquez wrote. She was inspired by a Enrique Granado's piece, Quejas, La Maja y El Ruiseñor. It's part of the Goyesca suite that he wrote. And she was a classical pianist, so I find it kind of special. We're both women, both classical pianists, we like playing jazz, so it was cool to end off my recital with this. So without further ado, I think everyone's ready. I gotta get my mic set up, but other than that, I hope you guys enjoy this piece. It's been a pleasure to arrange and have the 130 band play it. This is gonna actually feature a flute solo up front. This is the son of Richard Willliams, who wrote the Blue and Green arrangement. Ian Willliams is a great friend of mine, so I wanted him to be part of my recital. so glad you guys came out, and yeah, if you want to come and say hi, I'm here. Let's chat. Thank you.